Time to break down the biggest stories of the day. This is the top 3 stories of the day on KSLSports.com. On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, listen to the KSL Sports Zone because the Zone and Beehive Meals are honoring people that impact youth sports in our communities. Nominate the youth sports volunteer you know for the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week at KSLSports.com/contests, and then listen every Thursday afternoon to JJ and Alex for the winner. It's Beehive Meals Hero of the Week. Time for the top 3 stories of the day. KSLSports.com, brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Cherish your love with J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials. J. Brooks Jewelers. All right, Christian, where do you want to start today?
Number 1, the Jazz followed the Mavericks on the road last night.
That was the game I expected against Chicago.
Yeah, again, it's why yesterday when we were talking about the Chicago game, these were the second night of it back-to-back, we wondered, why is Chicago so bad? And you and I both kind of just want to talk about what an awful team they were. That's why, because of what we saw the Jazz do last night. Now, second night of a back-to-back, young players don't know how to prepare themselves for that. I get it. But that was a bad Mavericks team last night.
Oh, that was the G League Mavericks.
Hammer the G League Jazz.
And they were on the second night of a back-to-back, too.
Also. And had just lost a player in Cooper Flagg and were down several starters. So.
And didn't exactly have any bigs either, although I know you love Dwight Powell. So if you're telling me that the Jazz lost, I'm not really shocked. I'm a little surprised they got steamrolled. I would have, like I said, I would have expected that against Chicago, not the G League Mavericks.
Yeah, for sure.
But I like Najee Marshall, who was
they have
really
some
good.
good pieces. They've got some legit veterans. P.J. Washington's good.
And Clay can still shoot when you leave him wide open. It's the why was he wide open factor.
Right.
That was a little bit interesting. We played the Jazz update, and Will Hardy blamed fatigue, which sure, yeah. And everybody's allowed to have down games. I don't know. I'm a little surprised it wasn't more competitive, though.
I do think, and look, I hate to read too much into one game. I do wonder if we're starting to see a little bit of the limits of like how much Keontae can carry by himself. There's just no other creation on the roster outside of what he's able to do. Bryce can do some. He did a lot in the second half. The game was out of hand at that point. I'm not sure anything Bryce did actually mattered last night. But Keontae's being asked to do so much. There's only so much he can carry by himself. And truthfully, just Ace Bailey's just not there yet. And he will. He's going to get there, but he can't shoulder the number 2 load right now. And what's so good about the Jazz right now with Lauri Markkanen and Keontae when they're both on the floor, like they legitimately have 55 really good possessions a night. You're going to get that when those two are together, if not more than that. And they're so dangerous on the court that when anybody else is out there, and then you mix in Nurk, who's good for 10 or 15 possessions a night, you really do have a very workable offense. When you're missing Nurk and Markkanen, you're probably just stretching Keontae a little bit then. And he just can't quite get to that point. And that's the next level, honestly, for him. That's where, Kyrie is so great. That's where Steph is so great, that when they don't have all the pieces around them working, they can still win a game. Shea can do that.
I don't know if any of those guys are playing with fundamentally flawed rosters. I don't know if even Shea is dragging a team with no center.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And again, I know you prefaced that take with I don't want to read too much into it, which I know you don't. But what are you going to do? I mean, Phil is the starting center, and he only played 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That meant that Slow-Mo was your Slow-Mo played 26 minutes at the big.
Yeah.
Locke told this, I guess, anecdote that if you ask Slow-Mo what he thinks his position is, you know what his answer is? Point guard.
Yeah. It's where he grew up playing,
Point guard.
But he's absolutely the 5.
Yes.
In these games for the Jazz.
Yes. I mean, that's crazy. It's just not going to work. Keontae could have had, I don't know. Bryce had 40, whatever.
43 and they lost, yeah.
43 and they lost.
27 last night.
Yeah, they lost. I don't think it's a measuring stick. And you know what? I think you can look into what Keontae George is doing, and I can't remember if you pointed this out or Coach. Sometimes I get you guys conflated. It could have been both, honestly. Yeah. Is that he is making a concerted effort to get everybody going in the first half.
Yep.
And last night, he did that except for nobody got it going.
Yeah, especially in the first half.
In the first half. The Jazz were shooting, 33% at the half? Something like that.
2 of 18 from 3.
I could go back and look it up or whatever. But I do think that. I think especially in the first half, Keontae's like, I'm going to get everybody going. And then he picks his spots in the second half, which was true last night.
He only took 11 shots yesterday.
Right.
Again, and he knows. He gets what's going on. I mean, the Jazz are trying to lose these games right now.
They didn't want to win.
They're
that was an important one to lose. They probably told him before the game.
They're not trying to win on Saturday either. And then I think this is the lineup you're going to see a lot of the year. And we'll see the trade deadline's now less than 3 weeks away. I have not heard a lot of rumblings about the Utah Jazz at all. I will tell you the truth. They're coming back in town. They've been on the road a lot since right before Christmas and now. So we will, I'll try and gather some info of what's going on. But I don't expect it to be a crazy trade deadline for the Jazz. I just think this is what the lineup's going to look like with some Lowry mixed in for. There's 41 games left. They're exactly at the midway point after last night. There's 41 games left. They played 41. What do we think? Lowry plays 20?
How many games can they afford to win?
They're at 14 right now. I think you can get 11 of your next 40. So, yeah, he plays against your absolutely toughest opponents on the road.
7?
You know, he plays at Denver. He plays at OKC. Wherever you feel like, hey, we're probably going to lose that game regardless. Plays very rarely at home. Yeah, that's what you're looking at.
You know what it is unfair to Phil.
Well, he's not being set up to succeed because he's a backup for playing starting 5.
Now, if it were me and you came to me and said, hey, fella, you're not being set up to succeed, my immediate response would be, well, that's not fair.
Yeah, I don't want to do that then.
That's not fair. You're setting me up for failure? That doesn't sound like a good idea for me.
But it's good for us.
Okay.
Why? So we can draft the guy to replace you.
Now,
Huh?
now go out and guard that 270-pound man.
Yeah. So
Team on 3. What's next?
Number 2, the NFL playoffs roll on tomorrow.
this is arguably the best weekend of football throughout the season. We've got the Bills and the Broncos tomorrow afternoon at 2:30, and I don't mean that specifically because of these games. I mean that every year. These are, it's a pretty loaded weekend. There's 4 games to watch. They're on basically nonstop beginning Saturday afternoon to Sunday evening. So a lot of people I know celebrate this weekend. But like I said, tomorrow, 2:30, throw picks, I should say. Christian's Donkeys taking on the Bills.
Go America. Go Broncos.
The 49ers taking on the Seahawks tomorrow evening. And then Sunday, 1 o'clock, Texans, Patriots. And Sunday, Rams, Bears. Man, some bad teams. Some bad names historically sprinkled in here.
Not just bad names, but horribly flawed teams. Part of what I love about the NFL is this, that it is wide open and you can go from worst to first and all those sorts of things. And dynasties, if the Chiefs and Patriots have proven, are indeed possible, where you can rattle off a few. Are any of these teams good?
This is a year everybody's going to look back a la the Utah Jazz in 1999 or 1995 and 1994, 1995 and be like, how did you not win a title that year? Like, Jordan was out of the league in 94, 95. Jordan was out of the league in 99. You had the team that had been to back-to-back finals, and you didn't capitalize on that opportunity. The Spurs, I think, win in 99. The Bills, if they don't win the Super Bowl this year, are going to look back and be like, Mahomes is out of the playoffs.
Except for this is football. There's no guarantee that Mahomes gets back anywhere. The Chiefs have been on the fast train to Sucktown for a while now, and you can't guarantee Kansas City puts it all back together. That was the sheer magic of the Patriots. And if you want to give the boyfriend of the adult novelty heiress credit, it's that they refit rosters at least 3 times around Tom for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean that's the secret sauce. There's no guarantee Kansas City does that. And the thing is with the Bills, and why again I don't compare it to Jordan. Josh Allen is not the only player on the team.
No, he's not.
And in fact, the team kind of stinks.
Oh, they have a very decided effort to not stop the run at all. If you can run the ball, how's the Broncos running game?
Hot and cold.
Well, it's going to be hot tomorrow, so that's the nice thing. They're going to be able to move the ball because the Bills have no interest in stopping. But when you boil it down historically, what do we say about the Dolphins teams that didn't win a Super Bowl? Man, I can't believe Marino didn't get one. That's how we talk about it. That's what I'm saying. 10 years from now, if we look back at playoff runs or failures potentially for Josh Allen, we're going to say Bo Nix, Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, C.J. Stroud, Drake May. Maybe Drake May ends up being a very good player. Stafford's good, but he's old and fingernails. It's like, this is not the murderer's row of quarterbacks you have to break through to win the Super Bowl. And if you're the quarterback, you get to celebrate that.
But that wouldn't be an accurate take 10 years from now, just like it's not an accurate take now.
You're right, it's not.
You're actually saying, not you, that the Seahawks are this far because of Samuel Darnold, which is incorrect.
Right. It's part of the story. It's certainly not the whole story.
Everybody loves C.J. Stroud. The Texans are not still playing this weekend because of C.J. Stroud. In fact, they're playing in spite of C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
I've surprisingly got to give fingernails his due, but the Bears defense might be the worst defense the Chicago Bears have ever fielded. I mean, it's just dreadful.
Yeah. Well, how many of these teams are winning in spite of their quarterback?
So I was going to give the fingernails credit. I think you got to give Stafford credit with the Rams, but they just almost lost to the Panthers, so don't tell me they're the perfect team. Drake May's had a really good year, but I think the reason the Patriots are there is because they invested a ton in their defense in the offseason. But
Drake May's really good.
He's really good. Throw picks is the worst quarterback I've ever seen, so he's certainly not there.
Well, no, Brock Purdy's still in the playoffs.
The Donks, Brock Purdy's terrible.
Yeah, right. He's worse than Bo throw picks.
So the Niners aren't there because of Brock Purdy. They were thinking of benching Brock Purdy for, who was it? Mac Jones?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Josh Allen needs a better team. Have you seen the stiffs he's throwing to? And the defense is terrible.
All due respect to Dalton Kincaid, friend of this program.
I was more alluding to his wide receivers, but one tight end does not an arsenal of weapons
make. They have
two
tight ends. They have two good tight ends.
Okay. Look out.
Knox and Kincaid are
Look
good.
out. But somehow it's all up to him. It's just not. And it wasn't all up to Patrick Mahomes as much as everybody loves him. He had a dang all-pro team there for a couple of years.
Do you want to venture to pick winners, or do you not care to do that?
No, because I'm obviously rooting against the Donks,
and
so
the Niners.
I'm clouded. I'm rooting against the Niners, but I don't love the Seahawks either, but clouded there. Always root against the Patriots, so what? I'm impartial in that game, and always root against the Bears. So
Hawks, Patriots, Rams, Broncos. That's who's winning this weekend.
So all the favorites?
The Rams are not the favorites.
The Rams are the favorites.
Oh, they're favorites, but they're not at home. I'm talking. Yeah, okay, yes, not the higher seed, but they are
the favorite
by Vegas. Yeah. I'm going out on a limb.
Bold. Wait, did you say? Yeah, you did, because Denver's.
Did you say Broncos?
The Donks are favored by 1.5.
They are.
Seattle's favored by a touchdown. New England's favored by 3, and the Rams 3.5.
They opened as underdogs, so that must have changed.
Hit that parlay, buddy. Don't gamble.
It's ridiculous. Old bold take, Ben.
Print it.
Out there picking the favorites.
Print it.
Ben, you're such a freaking bozo.
Do we have another one to get to?
We do. The Utah Mammoth got another big win last night. They beat the Dallas Stars.
Continued excellent play from Vmelka. I thought that was actually one of his better games all season. Last night he had some absolutely huge saves on some breakaways from the Stars. They had to melt away 3 minutes at the end of the game with a man advantage for Dallas. Dallas pulled their goalie, and they found a way to get it done. So a lot of momentum. This team's playing well, and just kind of seems like it's come together. Seems like it looks more similar to the team that we saw win 7 games in a row than that team that couldn't get off the ice.
Yeah, and Vmelka was great. Can I give you an admission? Well, last night was a frosty yet lively atmosphere in the building, and the hockey games are super fun. If you haven't gotten to them, the crowd is really, really great, and it's fun to see what they do with the arena with the steep sides and all that. But we were rooting so hard for Dallas to get the equalizer in the last couple of minutes because the post-game show and the hockey game ended almost at the exact same time.
Yeah, right.
And I got to compliment the Mammoth fans. Pretty solid drivers in a crowd. I don't know. I'd be interested to see a study on the best crowd managing driving fan bases. You know what I mean? Like coming out of stadiums, which fan bases is it just a mad dash cluster?
Okay.
And which fan bases like are orderly and take turns and go in the right lane, and it turns into a smooth process. You know what I mean?
I don't want to police how fans do their thing. I know the players do not like the whistling at the Mammoth games. They have said that's distracting. Please don't do that.
Well,
And
deal
then
with it.
Fans got mad about it. They're like, we like whistling.
Yeah.
Fans should stay for the 3 stars after the game. Like that's a part of the NHL. You stay and you celebrate the 3 best players. A lot of people filing out as soon as that final horn sounds. You're supposed to stay, I guess.
Well, we're still learning the new traditions around here,
Yeah.
Ben. But it wasn't quite the nightmare I thought it was going to be. This sounds like a weird thing, and I know we're over, Christian, but I have not dealt with traffic at a sporting event. Colin, in Seoul, because I'm always working after, right? So I always leave the stadium, hour, if not hours after the event's actually over, and I never deal with the traffic.
Yeah, same.
It's kind of a funny byproduct.
No, it is
like
one of the real
sports traffic.
advantages.
And you're usually there way before the game starts,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not like you deal with traffic coming in. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Dealing with arena traffic last night.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, I haven't
had to fight this in a
been
while.
here in a while.
Yeah.
All right. Stay tuned. More next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.